because it's just, its eyes are so big, it just...
Planet 1UP.
Hey everyone, I am Nate and welcome back to Planet 1UP. In today's video, we are going to be having a look at the top 10 best video game glitches of all time. If you disagree with anything on this list, let us know in the comment section of a better glitch or why I'm wrong, and I can prove that I'm right and you're not. In at number 10 is just falling through the world. This is by far one of the most common glitches of all time, and in most cases it means that the player is going to have to restart their game. The reason why this happens so often is that in first-person games the map is made up of different layers instead of actual physical objects. When making the world and establishing the different surfaces like solid versus liquid, sometimes there are holes in these layers that result in people falling through the world once found. Enjoy this short montage. Dun, 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 dun. Montage. In at number 9 is weird NPC interactions. There are some saucy ones on this list. I decided to use this spot as a way of saluting all of the amazing content that has been made by non-playable characters or NPCs interacting in such unique and unusual ways. We have weird interactions between sporting players, interactions during dialogue scenes, and of course, animals. One of the most famous NPC videos will be that of Ladder Goat. Ladder Goat. No. In at number 8 is Hawthorne's bird glitch from Destiny 2. That's the bird. That's it. Now, there are going to be some people that will say that Destiny 1 and Destiny 2 from Bungie were just big glitches themselves as games, but nothing made me giggle harder than when Lewis, Hawthorne's bird companion, would freak out when you talk to her. Who typed such a bouncy boy in the script? That's the extent of the glitch, but I definitely found it hilarious. Because it's just, its eyes are so big, just... In at 7th place is the Giraffe Necks from Battlefield 3. This is an incredibly silly glitch that originally became a hilarious aspect of the Battlefield 3 beta back in 2011. This isn't the only time this glitch has actually made an appearance in games though. It has also made appearances in the newer Battlefield 1 as well as in Hardline. The glitch occurred in Hardline when a player was crawling and there was something stopping them from getting up. In the Battlefield 3 beta though, it is something that appeared to happen randomly. I personally remember seeing a few teammates running past me during the beta looking a little taller than everyone else. In at number 6 is Missingno from Pokemon. This is probably one of the most well-known glitches in the original Pokemon games. Missingno is an abbreviation of missing number, and according to an official Nintendo statement, is a programming quirk and not actually a part of the game. It's a glitch that only can be found once a player has performed the Fight Safari Zone Pokemon trick. This officially recognized trick allows you to fight and catch Safari Pokemon along Route 20, aka out of the Safari. In the game, Missingno appears as a two glitchy overlapped columns in Pokemon Red and Blue, and as a random assortment of image assets in Pokemon Yellow. Fun fact, you can actually hack the game a little further, so that when Missingno actually appears, it can look like either a Kabutops skeleton, an Aerodactyl skeleton, or the ghost that appears in the Pokemon Tower. It also has a modified version of a male Nidoran cry when it appears. In at number 5 is the duplication glitch in Oblivion. This was a glitch in Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion that allowed you to duplicate almost every item in the game. The way this was done is by getting 2 copies of the same scroll, opening your inventory, and quickly equipping the scroll. Then you drop the item you want and it will make 2 copies of it. You can keep on doing this for as long as you want until you're completely decked out for any situation. Potions, no problem. Picks for locks, too easy. Want to spawn 1,000 watermelons in a room and throw fireballs at them? You've got it. Some of the videos made around duplication glitches are pretty solid, and I recommend looking them up. In at number 4 is The missing faces of Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed slowly became a popular game amongst gamers, but there were a few titles that fell a little flat. Personally, I wasn't a fan of the first or third Assassin's Creed games, but nothing was as bad as the mockery that followed the release of Assassin's Creed Unity. The biggest glitch in the game was one that resulted in the faces of characters almost completely disappearing except for their eyes and teeth. Originally terrifying, then hilarious and or frustrating at the end of it all. That wasn't the only issue though. The main character Arno would also fall through the ground, attempting co-op would crash the game, frame rate drops, and a few other things too. Some people speculate that it was because they were trying to push the game out too quickly that a lot of these bugs were missed. In at number 3 is E.T. the Extraterrestrial. Welcome to the game that almost destroyed the gaming industry in 1983. The game was originally meant to be a close link to the movie where you play as E.T. trying to find the parts to be able to call home. Unfortunately though, because of heated business deals, the developer only had 5 weeks to finish the game before the Christmas of 1982. The game was released and it very quickly became the biggest fail in video game history. The game was horrible, with a bug that, if E.T. fell into a hole, there was no way to get him out. Other issues with the game basically made it unplayable and unsellable. The game was given the title of the worst game of all time and the biggest commercial failure in video game history. Embarrassed, millions of copies of the game were buried in a New Mexican desert in 1983, where they were eventually uncovered in 2014. In at number 2 is Nuclear Gandhi from Civilization. If you don't know who Gandhi is, he was an Indian activist who stood to make India independent from British colonial rule. He did so completely through non-violent protesting. Now, in the game Civilization, Gandhi has some predetermined characteristics that resulted in him behaving in a particular way determined on in-game actions. Even when being democratic, Gandhi is very peaceful. If you push him too much though, he'll drop A-bombs all over you. Before we reveal what number 1 is, what do you think of the list so far? Have you encountered any of these bugs? What other lists should we be doing? Let us know in the comment section down below. But it is now time for first place. In at first place for the best video game glitch of all time is the corrupted blood incident in World of Warcraft. On September 13th, 2005, Blizzard introduced a new raid as part of a World of Warcraft update, and the raid boss had a very contagious and strong debuff called Corrupted Blood. This effect would damage players over time and even kill weaker ones within seconds. There was one aspect of this debuff that was overlooked though that interrupted gameplay across at least 3 servers. The pets of warlocks or hunters could contract the disease, and if summoned again outside of the raid, they would pass the disease onto anyone that they ran into. This would also spread to NPCs, but it wouldn't kill them. If you were to unexpectedly walk past one, however, there is a good chance you would get the disease and carry it on. Some players mentioned towns filled with the bodies of dead players, and people started behaving like they were actually in danger. Healers offered help to the sick and weak, makeshift checkposts were set up to protect weaker players, and some trolley players would actually attempt to spread the disease further. The incident was so realistic that in 2007, a doctor that studies the spread of diseases wrote a scientific paper relating it to bird flu outbreaks. That is it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please make sure you like as well as subscribe and hit the bell icon just down there so you're notified when we upload more content. I'm Nate, this is Planet 1UP, and we'll see you all next time. Bye!